I just basically have a 330 conibear sitting on the trail. The trail is the bait. That's one bait. What I was hoping is for, when I set it, the water was still kind of open. I was hoping a beaver would come up or come down it and get caught there. But then I started thinking, if I would have had a little bit of rabbit fur on that trigger, I could catch a fox possibly. I'm gonna try an experimental catch setup for that. But that's good. And if it gets mild this weekend, I might catch more stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very, very, very happy. So baiting, the trail is bait number 1. Okay. Then you could put out actual bait, like you put in a bait pail here. Okay, it was a piece of chicken, old piece of turkey, sorry, rotten turkey. And that's bait number 2. So remember a few episodes ago, probably quite a few episodes ago, where I set this pail was on his track. Basically right where his track was, I set that pail. And the thing you need to know about mink is from the day they're born to the day they die, they hold a schedule, a routine, and they will follow that routine. You could set your clock by them. So usually, so chances are this guy had quite a bit of a territory that was probably fairly big, and it took him a while to come back around. However, if this was the mink I caught a glimpse of the other day that I pulled my rifle on, it could have been him. So that means he had a pretty big territory. That's good news and bad news. The good news is that there's mink in the area. The bad news is that if they have that much territory, it means there's not a lot of mink in the area. But that can change when the ice comes on, because these guys will run all over the ice. You'll see them in broad daylight sometimes. Like one mink going, there's one day I saw like six mink in the, like running on the ice midday. I'm like, you guys, you know you're nocturnal, right? But I guess, you know, they got schedules to keep. They're busy, you know. Sounds like a vehicle back here. There's definitely a storm coming when the sound travels like that. But anyway, the other thing you want to do is bait your trap. Rather than trying to mask the scent of the trap. Now this is going to be good and dangerous. Sharp object. If I fall, just don't damage the mink. Yeah, you know, broken legs will heal, you know what I mean? Just don't damage the mink. Hopefully this will offset the money I spent today. I bought a pair of scissors and some more X-Acto knives. Blades for, which will come in very handy for him anyway. Very, very, very slippy right here. But anyway, yeah. So I saw this mink crossing here not that long ago. So baiting the trap, okay, is another part. So every beaver trap I'm going to put out is going to have bait on it, i.e. poplar, or what you guys in the States call aspen. Every other trap I'm going to rub a scent on it. So even if they won't go near the trap or through the trap, maybe they'll stop and smell the trigger of the trap, i.e. if it had a bit of rabbit fur on it, a little bit of rabbit guts, a little bit of whatever, it increases the odds. So the trail is the first bait. Their trail is a second bait. A third bait is actual bait, you know, to something they could chew on. And then you have visual lures. So lures and baits are two different things, but really the idea is to entice the animal to come in at all times. And yeah, that was great. That's great. That's a lot better than a squirrel anyway. I thought I was going to catch him in that tree trap, so I caught him right where his trail was. It was just a matter of waiting for him to come back. So like I say, they'll follow a routine, and they'll do that same routine every day, and then, you know, maybe their routine covers a wider territory, and over like a 3-day span they cover XYZ territory or whatever, and you'll catch a couple of these a season. So that's good. And like I say, the crazy moon really helps. This is why I wish I had every trap out right now, because I'd probably be making off like a bandit. That's great. Nice little mink. Yeah. So This killed them pretty fast, but these guys are pretty wiry and thin, so it killed them pretty fast, but probably not as fast as I would have liked. So with mink, you're better off, like this is a 160. This is the smallest trap I have is that little 110. That would have been a better trap to catch him in, but this is also, like I say, on the ground like that. I've always caught my fisher. I've only caught one fisher in a tree in my life. That was the first one I caught, and no, he was on the ground. I've never caught a fisher in a tree. I've had fisher tear apart my tree traps like a zillion times and never get caught. But I've never caught a fisher in a tree. I've always caught them on the grounds with the pail set. Now mind you, this is not the ideal pail. Try to get something that fits the form of the trap the best. But if you're really targeting mink, smaller is better. 110, 120. Personally, I'd always go to a 120 trap, because the problem with the 110 traps, you only got one spring, and sometimes you just kind of like can't stabilize the trap. If the trap, you know, it's nice to have that second spring there that you can kind of stake in a bit. Yeah, but yeah, I was catching him coming out, so sneaky little bugger. He was getting past that trigger, but that's okay, because that means there was probably smaller ones that were going in there that I didn't catch, so I catch the bigger one. This could be a female. It's hard to say, but I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna check the rest of my traps. My goal was 4 animals a week. I'm not going to carry this the whole way in, so I'm going to put this somewhere where the birds can't see it. If not, you could have a problem of birds chewing on them. So right there is good. Don't go anywhere. All right, I don't think he can, but I thought I'd just give him the warning anyway. So lucky Friday the 13th, there we go. That's awesome. Catching a mink is awesome. It's not so awesome have to bring now's when I'll catch a big ass beaver. Why? Because it'll be impossible to carry the two of them at home at the same time. But yeah, caught me a mink. Anyway, I'm gonna get down here and I'm going to see if I caught something else.